Hello to all those who helped finance this project. This is a little behind the scenes of how we made the TV series, at least until it got stopped by that crisis. So this is before the filming. Some of the youngsters helping me prepare the bus, cleaning on the roof as much as they can. The bus stays out in the countryside all year round in Lally's countryside. Well, we're immediately into film making there. We're going to be jumping back and forth. That got stuck in the mud in a place called Miramar, which is where we first started shooting. That was in February. A group of about 8 kids, I think there were 8. Half 3 girls and 5 boys, I think. It's a beautiful inland sea, a salty sea. That's Jasmine. That's inside the other motorhome, because we hired another motorhome to be able to bring everyone, and that's Carolina. Shooting inside, very, very, very hot, about 100 Fahrenheit, 105 Fahrenheit, 40 degrees Celsius inside, midsummer. That's Luciano, the assistant director, and also Tatiana from 9 Meals. Siesta time, that's me in the back. That's the famous Vienna hotel, built by Nazis in the 30s. Group photo during that shoot, part of the filming. Tatiana giving me a hairstyle with the tarantula. Luciano, also a musician. Santiago from years back. Who's that in the background? I think that's Jeremy. It's Pedro, extremely shy Pedro. That's his mother, who came with us and helping out on the shoot. There's the 2 actresses. The kids had a day off on the beach, an afternoon off at the beach. We had this, I wanted to shoot the birds being frightened, so we sent off Lionel to frighten the birds so we could get a part of this shot in the film. Again, shooting inside. We could only shoot for just for limited time, maybe 15 minutes at a stretch, because just much too hot. Sweltering. In 5 minutes, I mean, tears would fill my eyes. Tears of sweat would fill my eyes. And I had a small role in it. Those who've seen the short movie we made prior to this will recognize the role I was playing. So acting, directing, well, I'm not filming at the same time. It's about, maybe about 11 o'clock at night. Trying to avoid the traffic noise, too much traffic noise. It's not that easy to actually sort of film in my head, act, remember my words, tell the actors where to be, tell Luciano, who's just an assistant, how to use the camera. This is really filmmaking. Pedro, Lionel, Jeremias, and Ramiro. And that's Tatiana. Beautiful photo. I really like that photo. So Luciano was also useful because he could drive a truck. Well, at least he said he could. 12-hour journey to the mountains. That's the second shoot. That was about a week later. Really hot again. Tremendous temperatures. mías. Microphone fell over. That was Tiago. That is Tiago. This is the same place where we shot part of 9 Meals as well. Some of you might recognize it. Pedro. So on the way there, always things has to go wrong. On the way there, got a flat tire, which is not easy on a truck. It's difficult. We had to find in the middle of the summer. I think it was Sunday as well. We had to find. Been a great moment. So we found one, but right next to it was this kind of this irrigation river. What do we call it? Canal. And it was a great moment because from being an annoying thing to happen, I had to wait 3 hours for the thing to get changed, the tire to get changed and fixed. It's a really difficult job. It became like one of the funniest and greatest moments of the shoot, where they discovered this irrigation thing, which would go on and on and on, and it was endless. It would go on for kilometers. And they discovered that by putting my fat belly in the way, I could create some kind of barrage, and they could all somehow, instead it could disappear miles away, just with the strength of the water. There you go. There's Ivan Barrage.
Sí, yo eso hice, metí los pies.
And a lot of pressure and water. and off they go. Beached whale. Oh, it was such a fun moment, that.
Piecito.
Pedro. As I said, Pedro was an extremely shy boy. He never speak. He never spoke. For the first 2 weeks, he didn't say a single word other than the ones he had to say in the film. He wouldn't speak to anyone, not to me, not to anyone. That's what we call pathologically shy. Very, very introverted, but he did open up tremendously towards the end. Dogs everywhere. Argentina is a land of dogs, country of dogs. They're everywhere. Domestic ones, street ones, wild ones.
Ay, aquí pise.
There we go. That's how much they like being showered. So we got the tire fixed and off we go. It's a long journey. 12 hours of this. It's a very slow speed because the bus is an 1114 Mercedes-Benz, which is not very powerful. We're approaching Fiambara, which is where we're going to be staying.
Sí, en Audi.
It had such difficulty going uphill,
Con Bizco.
Breathing, blowing so they would go a bit faster. And then we stopped for the night in a place I knew the kids would love. I knew this place in sand dunes. Of course, most of them never get. Well, I don't think many of them. Only Tiago and has never been out of his town. They've never seen, of course, anything like these sand dunes. Absolutely great for them. Really not a good idea to bring the camera or cell phones because it's wind-blowing sand. Sand is the enemy number one for cameras and anything electronic. But whatever. Also, it's vines everywhere. Vines. And pretty quick, the kid discovered they had vines. And so, of course, they would. What would we do? And it was the season. It was what do you call it? Cosecha. I don't know how you say. When you actually pick the vines. Great grapes of all kinds. Stealing whenever they could.
Mira eso.
Mira.
Mis bolas.
Déjame probar unas bolas.
beautiful grapes, really delicious grapes there. For those who know me well, they'll hear more about those grapes soon. A new personal project I have. Dogs everywhere, puppies everywhere. So then we go up to the really high up. That was about 1,500 meters, which is, I don't know, times 3-4 feet, 4,500 feet there. And then we go up and up and up very slowly in the Andes. This is the Andes. Some of you recognize these places that I use in 9 meals as well. Now we're about 2,500 meters up, which is about, so 3 times about 7,500, about 8,000 feet. Extraordinary landscapes. Carolina was terrified because she had to drive this truck, this bus, 11-meter bus, while singing, remembering her lines and stuff. That was actually her pet hate, was having to act while she was driving.
I didn't mean to make you cry. We will not let you go. No, we will not let you go. Let you go. Let you go. Let you go. Let you go.
I'm sorry about that. One does get bored for hours and hours and hours and hours of driving. And then we're at the place where we camped up. That's almost 4,000 meters. That's a lot. That's 12,000 feet. Lack of oxygen there, and had this old refuge there, this stone refuge. And we did a fire. It was nice and warm inside because even though in summer it was really quite cold at that altitude. I don't think you'll see it, but I did actually feel sick. I don't think I filmed it. The next morning I felt sick, altitude sickness, and I had to take it down the mountain again by car. And you can see there in the background Pedro just starting to open up now. It's his second week. Actually getting into it finally, which is why his mother, said fine for the film, because he's going to help him sort of, get out of his shell a little bit. Both actresses are teachers, not that you'd notice.
Esa basura era tu proxeneta. Escúchame, no.
Tiago, you see it on the right there, from actor has become sound engineer. More pictures of the mountain. I don't know what's that doing there, but whatever. I think these are not my pictures. I'm not sure I necessarily chose them, but whatever. Leonel is from the favela, the shanty town nearby. Very, very, very humble family. Very great experience for him. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful landscapes. Just astounding landscape. I mean, look at that. See, it looks like almost dinosaurs beneath the ground, just with their backs showing. Jasmine, great, crazy little girl. A lot of fun.
No, pero para esta noche que coman liviano por todo lo que tienen que hacer después.
In the background, that's the other motorhome we rented for $180 a day, everything included. The drivers and the helper and everything included. So we took them for another morning off. And these are the volcanic hot waters. What do you call them? Oh God, I can't remember whatever. There's the hot waters coming out of the ground by nearby volcanoes in a beautiful setting, full of sulfur and good things for the skin. I come back from negotiating the entry fee I got half the kids to hide inside the bus, and then I, sort of haggled them down and down and down until I managed to get to less than half the price.
Run.
Yasmin, she's also from a very, very, very poor family. A really hard-working family. Okay, well that's when I went down the mountain after that, and I used the engine too much as brakes. I used the engine brake too much and the engine exploded basically. The engine exploded, so I had to get the other bus, and we're being pulled by the other bus, which is the reason why I can drink and drive, because I'm not actually driving anything at all. That was the last night of the second shoot. And that's, thankfully the bus broke down just at the end of the second shoot. It's better, look, it's better having fun even. I mean, wow, how he opened up. It took him 2 weeks, but he finally did. So we're going on the way back now. Thankfully the bus broke down, didn't break down, it broke completely and absolutely. I mean, useless, totally, at the end. So we were all able to go back in one car in one bus, all of us. And that's the arrival back at home. with their stash. So now the next stage is the bus is broken, so that's when I mentioned it to you, and I had to act upon it because we had the third shoot. Oh, this is typical summer storms there and where we live. It's like that all the time, easily, 1 or 2 of those per week, all through the summer, and it rains tremendously. These kind of extraordinary storms are very, very common here. So I'm off to Buenos Aires to see one of the buses and motorhome that I saw advertised, and it looks like it could very similar to the one we had. See if I could use it.
So fucking special. I mean, look. I mean, they even put light in the switches for when I went past. She was frightened of actually even looking at me in the face. She knew I was that important.
Bollocks I'm talking about.
So fucking special. Special.
Why special? Oh, I know why.
Really special. Look, it's a special seat. Look,
One
empty special fucking plane.
Exactly, yeah.
Right, special seat. A1, just like me.
That was really pointless.
Oh my God.
Whatever. So here's the visiting the bus. Look at it, the state. Look at it, because you're going to see the change. You're going to see the before and the after. So the bus is 10 years younger than the other one. It's the same model, but a more powerful engine. In better condition, actually, overall. It's the guy who sold it to me is actually a bus mechanic. The big difference is the engine is there. It's right there where you see it. It's in that right next to the driver, which means it's not at the front nor at the back. Which means you gain at least 1.5 meters in length. So it's actually bigger. It's the same bus, but it's bigger. I know that doesn't make sense, but I understand myself. Well, we're seeing this because this is what your help managed to. Well, we managed to buy this with your help. The cost of it was $7,000. Seemed perfect. They had a wooden thing here, where they had the trunk, if you like, at the back. But you'll see how I dealt with that. I took everything apart when I got back home. So that's the before. So we're signing, exchange of papers. I paid them in dollars, which is something very, very useful to them because of the inflation here. And here we go. Start the work on it. Take everything out, take everything apart. For it to, on the inside, for it to be, how we need it, and on the outside, as you see, to make it look like the other one. Took the whole thing apart, ripped everything off. And just 2 or 3 days after this is when the COVID thing whatever started, and the lockdown, extremely strict lockdown. Nobody was able to leave their house, but I would still continue coming here, going somehow avoiding the police blocks every day. I go every day. For 2 months I worked on it every single day, and phoning up shops and stuff so they could open and sell me things, discreetly. Fixing the music system. That's Moises, the local kids there helping me. And there was light. Put those LED lights that I consume a lot less because everything has to run on the batteries, of course. You see, I already put the carpeted on the sides. I refloored the thing. I leveled it out to get a big, fat, nice big room at the back. And then we're going to do a jump in time, I think. I redid all the electricity, all the electrical wiring. I took everything apart as well, as I did with water as well, all the water system. So that's the bus during the lockdown, and then we're going to jump in time now. Suddenly, I paint it like the old bus. You recognize that. And then we're jumping weeks ahead now, and then you're going to see how it ended up inside. I made a window. I redid the whole back. Created a window behind at the back of it, which I think is great. It's such a beautiful thing, actually, to be able to travel like that. I've got to explain this. Hang on, let me explain this. So one day I went to the countryside and I left the door open as I went walking in the countryside. When I came back, after having fixed everything was completely wrecked, totally wrecked. Everything that I'd done. Mattress wrecked, the door wrecked, the mattress is totally torn to shreds, but nothing was missing. So it wasn't a theft. And I kind of cut a long story short. I was totally shocked, totally amazed. Look at the sheer destruction. A puma got caught in my bus, went inside. I closed the door without realizing it was inside, and it spent an entire day. Look what it did to the door. It destroyed it. A puma got in there, completely panicked, couldn't get out, destroyed the door, has got teeth marks right there. I could see the paw mark, teeth right through the metal. It managed to get out through a tiny window up 3 meters up. Eventually, there's the hair belonging to the animal. Anyhow, I had to redo it. I redid the whole thing. It's a crazy story, but true. I redid the whole thing again, and then finished it up, and that's the final result. Yes, it looks like a Moroccan sitting room. I did live in Morocco for some years, and there's a finished product. But of course, we can't use it because we're still under lockdown. There's no sign of lockdown finishing. Now we're 25th of May or 20th of May. They think we're talking another 6 months of lockdown, which is ridiculous, but you know, so then it's waiting for us to be able to get things back on the road again. God knows how, but anyhow, there it is. That's all with your help. 2 months, last 2 months felt like 2 years. I guess in a way it gave me time to be able to redo this, you know, redo the bus. On the outside, you won't see it, I haven't got pictures of it, but I did it the same on both sides as the old bus. And there you go. So thank you very much for your help. That's the best I could do for now, and more news soon. Bye bye.